A day after the NOPD's chief admitted some officers used more than tear gas during protests on the Crescent City connection, police gave us an up-close look at what was used. Danny Monteverdi was there and has this report.
They're shooting rubber bullets.
This eyewitness video, obtained by our partners at the Times-Picayune and New Orleans Advocate, shows a projectile fired from New Orleans police scramble a crowd of protesters who gathered on the Crescent City connection last week. On Tuesday, NOPD Chief Sean Ferguson and Sergeant Todd Morrell, who heads up the Special Operations Division, gathered up examples of what they say was used, with and without authorization, to try to get the crowd of thousands off the bridge.
Just so that everyone would have an understanding as to what was used and how it was used.
Ferguson says commanders on the bridge only gave the okay to use tear gas canisters like this. They say they have no rubber bullets. Fired without approval were rubber balls, also known as stinger rounds. These are those rubber balls we heard about yesterday. Superintendent Sean Ferguson tells us the SWAT team fired 2 canisters of them into the crowd. Each canister holds 18 balls. Images of injuries that protesters say they suffered on the bridge after officers fired projectiles have been sent to the NOPD. Department leaders dispute the rubber balls fired from launchers like this caused them.
This hurt significantly less than a paintball.
Ferguson says officers used the gas only as a last resort.
At some point in time, we have to restore law and order.
The question remains who fired the stinger rounds.
It is my job and the leaders of this organization to hold our employees responsible and accountable when they violate our policies.
Danny Monteverdi, Eyewitness News.
Well, the NOPD also says they fired so-called sponge rounds. Those are essentially projectiles containing tear gas. Now, they also used rounds containing a bright paint. They say they shot those at shields and masks they say protesters took from officers on the bridge. Now, there is body camera video of that confrontation. The NOPD plans to release that video tomorrow.